Coming up on this episode of the Ango Show, we're going to discuss a AEW return that's been shut down. A top WWE star has officially re-signed a new deal with the company. And yes, we are going to talk about a top WWE Raw star being moved to SmackDown, and it is official. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want more pro wrestling news videos, rumors, analysis, you got to just click that subscribe button and ring that bell at 100,000 subscribers. Yes, I'm still giving away a World Heavyweight Championship replica belt, but we just haven't hit 100K yet. So once we hit it, you'll get it. All right, let's talk about it. Drew McIntyre is being moved from Raw to SmackDown. It was made official today. Nick Aldis in the WWE posted a new video on social media confirming the switch. So Drew McIntyre is officially on SmackDown, and they announced that he will in fact be in a triple threat elimination chamber qualifying match. It's going to be the main event of SmackDown: Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso. Now, of course, everybody's going to have their own opinion on whether or not Drew McIntyre should be on SmackDown. I see some people are not too thrilled about this. I, for one, genuinely believe that Drew McIntyre is going to help give the star power that SmackDown needs. And that's really what it is, right? If you look at Raw, it is clearly a star-studded show. They have really pushed Raw on Netflix. And I think SmackDown has kind of taken the shit end of the stick. And therefore, when you put Drew McIntyre on SmackDown, I think that helps elevate the show. And then, of course, there is that potential storyline with Drew and Cody. You could do the stuff with Drew and Damian Priest. But I really want to see Drew be the top guy on SmackDown. He was a top guy on Raw. I want to see him treated as such on SmackDown. I think that is really important. And I really just don't want to see Drew McIntyre dealing with mid-card feuds, right? You got him away from CM Punk. You got him away from Seth Rollins. I think there's definitely a storyline there with Roman Reigns when he does return as well. So obviously we'll have to see how things unfold over time. But with that being said, I do want to point out WWE is kind of in a tricky spot because they have Kevin Owens, who's on SmackDown. He just crossed over into Raw and attacked Sami Zayn. So then you have to wonder if maybe Sami also finds his way into SmackDown or how they go about bridging the gap there, because it is very clear at some point there is more stories to be told. So I don't want WWE moving Drew to SmackDown and then having them drop these current existing storylines. I'm not a big fan of the transfer window and how it's been done, but I will give at least props to the WWE for filming content explaining the change from Raw to SmackDown or SmackDown to Raw. So I'll kind of leave it at that. With that being said, that brings us to our next topic. An AEW return has been shut down. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about it. Bobby Fish is not going to be coming back to AEW. For some people, this is a big deal. For some people, it's not. Sean Ross Sapp was asked about this in the latest Fightful Select Q&A session. A lot of people have been wondering if Bobby Fish would be returning to the company, come back to the company as part of the Undisputed Kingdom. Sean Ross Sapp says, Bobby Fish has never been discussed for a comeback to AEW from what I'd heard. I'd imagine Undisputed will continue without Undisputed Kingdom. I don't believe Kingdom were originally intended for their reunion on pay-per-view. So obviously there's a lot of questions about this and where Bobby Fish ranks. And, you know, it's pretty well documented about his exit from AEW when it happened. Some people are okay with this. Some people aren't. If I'm going to be extremely honest with you guys, I think it's kind of a big blow. You know, I think it's not that Bobby Fish is a game changer for AEW, but there is a lot that should be said about the Undisputed Era in WWE. And then what we've seen in AEW has definitely not been the same. I don't care who you are. I don't think anybody really can tell you confidently that AEW has done a great job capturing the momentum and the cool factor that they had in NXT. And obviously you got to, factor in the injuries, and there was obviously some hiccups along the way. But the Undisputed Kingdom does not ooze the same level of coolness that it had in NXT. And quite frankly, you can't forget those good times with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish holding it down alongside Adam Cole. And the fact that they're not going to be together and the fact that they're not doing anything together is very telling. It's very interesting. And listen, man, I think the Undisputed Kingdom was a hell of a tag team. or the Undisputed Era was a hell of a tag team. And I think the Undisputed Kingdom hopefully one day could get back to that point. I think it's just really hard with the way AEW does their bookings, honestly. Just the way that they book the show, I think, is very difficult for these guys to get over in that magnitude. And I think that's the part that really is unfortunate. And that's the part that makes me a little bit more confused, honestly. But Bobby Fish not coming back to AEW, it's a big blow for the Undisputed Kingdom. I think if they were to try and recapture this success from Red Dragon, and really just, man, I feel like there would be so many opportunities in that tag team division, and obviously making Adam Cole a legitimate top guy. I think that there's just a certain essence that you can't ignore when these guys were all together in NXT. For some reason, it just never connected. It never happened. And now we know it's very unlikely to ever happen again, which sucks. And that brings us to our final topic. A top WWE star has re-signed with the company. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been speculating for a long time that this was the case. However, there's actually an interesting swerve to the story. Kevin Owens has, in fact, inked a 5-year deal with the WWE. However, it didn't happen until recently. So for those who don't know, Kevin Owens posted a tweet on Twitter, and he says, "If you guys help support my daughter's Girl Scout troop by buying some cookies, I promise to keep wrestling for at least 4 years, 11 months, and 22 days more." And then, of course, he put the link to the Girl Scout cookies. And listen, it's very easy to say, oh, we all knew Kevin Owens re-signed. But if you look at his tweet, it was posted today. It is February 7th. If he posted it 4 years, if he posted it basically less than a month ago, that means he basically closed his new contract at the time for the Royal Rumble, in time for the Royal Rumble. And that just goes to show you that this entire time, it wasn't actually as much of a done deal as we thought. Does that mean Kevin Owens would have truly gone to AEW? I don't know. Sean Ross Sapp says it was all but confirmed. Today, Fightful Select spoke with sources close to the situation who confirmed that Kevin Owens did sign a new deal with the WWE that started at the WWE Royal Rumble. So that is huge, man. That is huge. I did not realize it took that long for him to get to a new deal. Which, what is the reason for that? Obviously, we don't know, right? But I'm super excited. I think Kevin Owens is an actual genius when it comes to being a performer. I think he's going to be an easy Hall of Famer. I genuinely want to see Kevin Owens at least one more time become a world champion. It could be wishful thinking, but I think he should be. And I would like to see WWE do that. So I'm excited for him. Happy to see that. A lot of people who were hoping for him to go to AEW, it's not happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.